Good afternoon, Guardians. This is Captain Pierce, and today we're going to talk about the skeletal system. So, when we talk about the skeletal system, we look at the human skeleton as its primary function being the framework or the supporting structure of the body. It allows motion and it protects the vital organs. So, the skeletal system, the muscular skeletal system, as we may know it a little better, is comprised of muscles, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, joints, and the other connective tissues that bind the organs together. So the skeleton is also our main storage for calcium and phosphorus, and it also contains the critical components of hematopoiesis or blood cell production. So it's a pretty big deal, right? So there's about 206 bones in the human body, give or take a few. Some people have a few anatomic variants. But when we talk about the skeleton itself, we usually divide it up into two groups. We talk about the axial skeleton, which is the center of the body or the body on its axis, and the appendicular skeleton, the things that are on the sides of the body, the arms, the legs, and the structures that produce those. So, the first thing we have here is the axial skeleton. So when you look at the axial skeleton, you think about the skull, the hyoid bone, the auditory ossicles, which are those teeny tiny bones in your inner ear that help you to hear, the ribs, the sternum, and the vertebral column. So the axial skeleton, as you can see, is kind of right here in the center, just like we talked about here. So when you look at the skull, there's 8 cranial flat bones that are all connected by sutures, 14 facial bones. So the number may seem high, but remember, most things have a right and a left. 6 auditory ossicles, 3 on each side, and the hyoid bone, which is a tiny bone in the neck just above the thyroid cartilage. So the chest, or the thorax, that makes up the thoracic cavity as we know it, right? It protects the heart, the lungs, those vital organs. It's 24 ribs, so 12 ribs on each side, and the sternum there right in the middle. And then lastly, we talk about the vertebral column. So we talk about the neck, or the C-spine, right? That's 7 cervical vertebrae. The mid-back, or the thorax, is 12 thoracic vertebrae. The lumbar spine, which is the low back, which is 5 lumbar vertebrae, and then the sacrum and the coccyx. So we typically refer to those as one bone each, but they're actually fused bones, 5 fused sacral bones and 4 fused coccygeal bones.